careful, my foot is stuck in the mud. I feel invincible. Hey everyone, Emme Hall out here for Out of Spec overlanding, and I am one of 4 Broncos, and we have gone through some crazy trails out here in the Upper Peninsula in beautiful Michigan in the new 2022 Ford Bronco Everglades. I know we're not in Florida, but really, I didn't want to go to Florida in the summer. I would rather come up here because it's been pretty rad. So hang tight, we're gonna go have some fun. All right, so I wanted to point out some features that are specific to the Everglades. Now, I'm gonna admit this is pretty muddy, but underneath all of this mud is actually a gray grille with black Bronco lettering, and then we have this steel front bumper. Now, this is not an Everglades package. It is a little bit more built up, but you can see here that this is a stock black grille with the white lettering. I kind of like the way this one looks, but you know. This has got the winch mount built right in. If you don't go for the Everglades, you're gonna have to fabricate or buy something that you can mount to your Bronco like this, but this one comes from the factory directly. Again, we've got those Goodyear mud terrain tires. The tread is like vaguely beefy, but honestly, if you know you're gonna be going into more mud, I would take a look at the BFG Goodrich KM3 tires. They're just got a little bit better of a tread. You're gonna be less likely to get stuck. Like maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I do like this Everglades decal that you've got right here with some topo map stuff going on. Now you would think that these little lines were maybe like an indication of how deep of water you can ford, but that is not true at all. You can ford 36 inches, which is like what, right here, right? Just an inch above those tires. So these lines are just for decoration. Your snorkel, again, with the 2 plates that you can interchangeable really easily. It is just a little Allen bolt right there, so you just need your little Allen key. It's pretty simple. Standard rock rails, which is cool. And then here's one thing that you really have to stand back and look at, but these fenders are just a little bit more squared off than a regular Bronco. So it's really, really tough to see. It's very subtle. I mean, I kind of like it just because I think it gives it a little bit more dimension, but you might look at it and go, oh no, that's just terrible. And then around in the back, everything here is normal, although you will have, I want to show you guys this, these are not actually steel wheels. It's an alloy wheel, but they look pretty good. Like, I kind of dig these wheels. And when they get dirty, as you've seen on ours, when they get dirty, they really look like steel wheels. All in all, like you guys, I love the way this vehicle looks. I love that it's a convertible SUV. The only other one on the market that we have right now is, of course, the Jeep Wrangler, but I think that this is easier top to get on and off. The Wrangler sometimes can be a little bit persnickety and heavy. And let's talk about some things on the inside. All right, then come on, let's look. So as we were talking about before, these seats are like a marine grade vinyl as well as a floor mat. So it's gonna be really easy to wash out. The little drain plug right here. There you go. What I really like about the interior of the Bronco too is that, let me sit here behind the wheel and show you, is that you've got these 6 aux switches here. And so these are always already like kind of pre-wired in for any kind of electronics that you want. So you're probably gonna want extra lights. You might want another alternator, especially, you know, if you're overlanding, you might want a little bit extra power. And so having those right there makes the wiring a little bit easier. If you're like me, I go to YouTube for my wiring tutorials and I always do it wrong. So having those switches right there, no drilling, easy peasy. All right, so at some point you are gonna have to drive your Bronco Everglades on the road, right? I know it's a terrible, terrible thing, but you gotta get to the trails somehow. And here's what you need to know. This Everglades is only available with the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, so you cannot get the 2.7. And it's also only available with the 10-speed automatic. But honestly, you guys, this 10-speed automatic is great. I love the way that it always knows where I wanna be. There's no like awkward upshifting and downshifting. It's just really smooth and it does its job in the background. So here's what you need to know about this 2.3 liter engine. You can get 300 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque out of it, but that's only if you're using premium fuel. And I don't know about you guys, but premium fuel where I live is like almost $7. So no, that's not gonna happen. If you use regular fuel, it's still pretty good. 275 Broncos all have a solid rear axle, and then oh my god, so this is actually the first time I've driven a Bronco with the top off, and the wind is making the seatbelt back there like clunk against the pillar, and it's making this like clunk 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 noise. And as long as it's not my axle or wheel bearings, I feel a lot better. Anyway, so we have a solid rear axle, but we also have independent suspension in the front. And you guys, I've driven these vehicles over a lot of dirt. I haven't driven this one in the dirt yet, but I will tell you that having an independent front suspension, you guys, it doesn't damage your off-road ability that much. I mean, sure, a little bit if you're in the rocks, but the best part about it is that you've got a much more solid, planted, easy drive when you're on the pavement. I mean, any of you that have ever driven a Wrangler, I mean, you kind of feel like you're wandering all over the place, and that's not the case with this vehicle. Now, if you're into driver's aids, you get a fair amount of them in this vehicle. You've got, you know, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, all of that good stuff. But in this Everglades, you do not get adaptive cruise control. I think that part of that is because of the winch. It kind of interferes with any kind of frontward visibility that a camera or radar would need. But you do get, let me see, do I have regular? I do have regular cruise control, so bonus. Yeah, buddy! I mean, look, is the Bronco going to be a corner carver? No, it's just not. It's too heavy. It's too 4x to really get your fun on when you're on a canyon road. But in terms of like handling potholes, in terms of, you know, bad pavement, it's a really nice smooth ride that you're going to feel much more comfortable after a day driving than you would in, say, a comparable Jeep Wrangler. Okay, so I know you guys have seen Jordan and Tijmen in the first edition Sasquatch. Now that did have the 2.7 liter, this one has the 2.3, but essentially we're looking at the same vehicle. Sure, this has got the winch and this has got the snorkel, but it's gonna ride the same way. Is it a corner carver? No. Is it more comfortable than your Jeep Wrangler? Yes. I've got a sport mode, which automatically like downshifts it, or I've got a sport mode, which automatically puts it into four-wheel drive auto, so I've got my torque going to whatever wheels the computer feels that is best. Got a little bit better of shift points, a little bit better of steering in terms of weight. But you know what, by and large, this thing is just a cruiser. We're out here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Never really been here before. I can't believe that there are this many trees in the world. And we're just cruising along at a steady like 45. The sun is out, it's a beautiful day, and there's no bugs. Yet. All right, here we go. We put this baby in mud and ruts. Gonna put me into four-wheel drive high. That also does lock the rear automatically, which is good because this is a lot of mud. Whoa, yeah, skid plates.
Got those in there.
So I'm wearing the standard mud tires that come with the Sasquatch package, so they're not anything special. They're these Goodyear Territory tires. They've got some pretty big grooves in it, which helps to get the mud out.
These are very impressive tires.
I know, this is good. I am so glad we got the convertible. I hope it gets super crazy dirty today. This is great. You know, most of my off-road experience has been in desert, so I don't have a ton of this muddy experience, except for this one time when I got a Jeep like buried up to the axles in some mud. I'll tell you that story later. It was pretty fun. But this thing is doing awesome. I am glad that I have the rear locker here. I also have a front locker, but I haven't really felt the need to use it yet, so here we go. I have no idea what the bottom is like of this. Dude, we are in so much water right now.
So much.
Oh my god! I don't think I've ever crossed that much water.
Me neither. I've done rocks only.
Oh my god, that was great. There are two special things about this Everglades. Number one is the snorkel. So what the snorkel is going to do is it brings the air tank up higher so that you can ford deeper into water. I mean, we can ford like 36 inches of water. It's about 3 inches more than a standard Bronco. And you guys, 36 inches feels really, really deep. We have gone through it and I'm like, this is like right up to the doors.
Yeah, and the door seals are surprisingly really good.
Yeah, nothing has leaked in yet. I'm always a yet person. And the cool thing about the snorkel is that it's reversible. So there's these easily moved plates. So if you know you're going to be in like the dust or the snow or something like that, you can have the air being scooped in, sucked in from the back. And if you know you're going to have clean air, you can put that in the front and then you can get scooped air from the front. So instead of having to like turn the head of the snorkel, all you have to do is switch out these plates. And so that's a pretty cool little design trick. Now, when it comes to the winch, I've got a Warren winch straight from the factory. It's 10,000 pounds. It's got a 100-foot line and it's got synthetic rope. And I really like synthetic rope over steel cable, and I will tell you why. It is so much safer, you guys. Because when you're winching and if something bad goes down and that winch line snaps, if you've got a steel line, it carries a lot of energy in it and it's just gonna go blah, 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 all over the place. But when we have that synthetic line, it's essentially just gonna go blah, and it'll drop. So it's much safer for everybody else around. It's also lighter weight, which is cool. And you don't get any of those like metallic burrs on it, so it's easier on your hands. And like I have like delicate lady hands, so anything that's like,
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to touch that either. But they also made some changes. They powder coated it. Yeah. They used a different clipping. What's the
Fairlane.
Yeah, and then I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that was all they said.
And they tested it past
Warren's specs.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. But this thing weighs under 10,000 pounds.
Yeah, so you can easily, I mean, you'll be able to pull yourself out and your buddies out.
Super duty out of a trail.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it on the...
Oh, there's a hut here.
Oh, hey, there's a hut. Imagine if this was your driveway.
That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that's so cool. They did say on the press information, which was really funny, is like, and it's got a winch, so you can pull your friends out. And I'm like, oh yeah, because like you're never gonna get stuck yourself. Right. Like, trust me, you're gonna get stuck.
It's a Bronco. They don't get stuck.
Sure. All right, so there are a few ergonomic things that I have found as we've been driving this truck throughout the day. Number one, this seatbelt thing is like trying to cut my head off, and I can't move this down, and that's really annoying.
Oh, yeah, so it's locked into place.
It's locked into place, which is kind of annoying. And then you have a grab handle to get in and out, which is nice even on the passenger side, but there's no oh shit handle. I mean, obviously the driver doesn't need one because my steering wheel is my oh shit handle, yeah. But there's nothing for the passenger.
There's nothing for me to grab onto while we're swaying back and forth to stabilize myself.
Yeah, so that part's kind of a bummer. But I will say that these seats are really comfortable. I have found that in every Bronco that I've driven, I really like the seats in terms of like, I want a little bit more side bolster support, but the cushioning part of it feels pretty good. Also here in the Everglades, they are heated, but not cooled.
Not cooled, which in these waders would be a little nice.
I know.
I've fully strapped my waders on just so I don't have to do it later, and it's getting a little toasty.
I know your feet are going to be so like trench foot when we're done with the day.
When I stepped in the water, so nice. Just a little pressure on the foot.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good.
Drift it.
Yeah, drift it. Let's see, four-wheel drift. Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I also wish that Ford had like all of the off-road pages kind of all together. Like I can get my pitch and roll on the 12-inch screen here, and then I've got some information on the gauge cluster, but I have to scroll through on the gauge cluster, and I don't have like everything all together. Like I don't have my transmission temp and my battery voltage and all that stuff. Kind
of surprising with how much off-roading stuff they want to feature. There's just not a page that has everything.
Yeah, I want all of that right there. The good news is that on navigation you do get a latitude and longitude, and I like that because I like maps, and if I know that lat and long, I can look at a paper map and I can figure out where I am. I get it, like that's super old school.
Yeah, you are so old.
I know, I really am. But I like, so it's good. It's good, you know, because listen, do you have service right now?
Nope.
So but there you go.
The truck does, surprisingly, somehow. Yeah. Or it's just downloaded GPS.
It's probably, it's downloaded GPS. I mean, you could download these maps, you could download them offline, right, and then you would have it. And obviously, like if you're overlanding and you're really out there, like people are going to have Gaia or they're going to have Onyx or something, which is all connected through offline maps. So in that case, you're fine. But that didn't really.
Yeah, because we can't go straight because it's too deep.
Oh, got it.
That's what it was.
Okay, I didn't hear all that. Well, I'm going to unlock it then. But speaking of the rear locker, I do want to talk a little bit about why you would want to use your locker in some of these situations, even if the vehicle can do it. I mean, look, you guys, I enjoy trying to do stuff with the least amount of help possible. Like, I will stay in two-wheel drive as long as I possibly can. I will wait to lock the lockers as long as I possibly can. But that's not really the best for the trail. And if you want to tread lightly, and if you want to make sure that we keep our lands available for others to enjoy, like, let the truck do some work for you. You know, lock your locker.
It's meant to do it.
Yeah, so stay on the trail. Don't like blast through the puddles. It's easier and it's better for everybody. And then we can make sure that more people can come out here and enjoy this beautiful weather, of which I have not gotten bitten by a bug.
I have, in her finger, whole 9 yards. I'm just getting eaten alive, but I think you use the more extreme.
I use the poison bug spray.
Yeah.
All right, should we go?
But I'm surprised how capable this thing is. Even you've had your rear locker off most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's not even struggling.
No.
And the second it does struggle, just put it on and it engages right away, which is super nice.
Right away. Yeah, and now I also have a front locker with the Everglades as well, but we haven't really felt the need to use those.
I don't think it's necessary one bit.
Not what we're doing right here. If we were to get into some rocks, yeah, but not right here.
I mean, will I need a massage after this? Probably.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but it's still super smooth.
Yeah, I always look at like head toss, like how much is my head doing this? I don't necessarily mind like my body moving around, but it's when it gets up into your neck.
And that's where the oh shit handle would come in nice for the passenger.
Yeah.
It's a little squeaky.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Bush's getting dried out because of the water.
Maybe. Yeah, right. Because we are on the last wave, so there have been 3 other teams that have come through with us, so we might be losing a little bit of grease. I don't think it's us. I think it's him. I don't think it's us. So one other thing that's kind of a bummer about this Everglades is that there's no forward-facing camera because I have a big old winch. And right now, I wouldn't really mind having a forward-facing camera because it's tough to see over the hood. But there we go. All right. Back into the water! I am Aquaman! All right, so the cool thing about the Everglades is that it does have a rock crawl mode. When you put it into rock crawl, it's going to give you 4-low automatically. It's going to turn all your stability control off, and it also locks your rear, which I unlocked so I could make a turn, but I'll lock it again. This vehicle actually has some pretty good approach and departure angles. It's about 37 degrees of approach and departure and about 26 of breakover angle. And remember, the Everglades is only available in the 4-door, so you can't get the little short wheelbase of the 2-door, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, it's
I think the 4-door looks better anyways.
No, I like the 2-door, but honestly, trying to use the back seat in the 2-door is hard. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Ground clearance is like 11 inches. So now you haven't driven the Bronco Raptor.
Nope.
I have driven the Bronco Raptor, and I have to say, like, if I had my choice between that and this.
I mean, I saw pictures and it looks like that has legit long travel.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah.
Over the top.
It is.
Rock crawler.
It's very much over the top. So I guess. Oh, look who didn't plan our turning radius good. I guess if I lived on the East Coast and I knew I was going to be doing a lot of mud and things like that, this would be my choice. Yeah. But since I live in the desert and I like the go fast stuff,
I think the Bronco Raptor would be better suit for Colorado as well.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more rocks. It never really rains there.
Yeah.
And you can go fast.
Yeah. But I'm not sure how well the Bronco Raptor would do. Well, I know it wouldn't have done any of this stuff because the KO2 tires, great for sand, great for dirt, great for rocks, not good in mud. We have chosen the most difficult line. I've locked up the front and the rear. Now, this does not have the 1-pedal drive, so I actually have to do some left foot braking, but it's okay. I kind of like left foot braking because I feel like I'm more in control of the vehicle. Come on, baby. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Passenger. Found it. Oh! Passenger. Bit more? Oh, okay. So of course there is a limit when you are rock crawling sometimes, and we just found it. I've got 11 inches of ground clearance, which is a lot, and I also have standard rock sliders, which is great because that's going to protect everything, and I've got like 5 skid plates along the bottom, so nothing is damaged. All you need to do is back up and try again. Yeah, buddy! That was great. And what's awesome is that they're letting me actually like hit the rock rails, hit the skid plates. You know, like sometimes you get with other manufacturers and they take you in an off-road course and it doesn't really challenge the vehicle and it doesn't challenge you driving, and this is good. This is actually the longest water crossing that we've had.
I just want to pick this up out of the water.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Yeah, this
seal fails.
This looks like the longest water crossing we've had. And I can see on the Bronco in front of us, it's up to the bumper, the bottom of the bumper and the license plate.
Yeah, it's touching the license plate.
Yeah.
And you don't have your rear locker on.
Oh, no, I don't. Let's lock it. Just to be safe.
It was doing fine. But...
I know, but you know, like if you don't know, I've never been through this before, so I don't know what's underneath here. Okay, this feels really...
Just don't stop.
No. We gotta give momentum. But, well, you can feel the bottom is pretty rocky. It's not muddy.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily need momentum to get through this.
See, a little traction.
Yeah. This is, I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is so peaceful.
I know.
You do this all day. Yeah, but do we think I can stand in it?
Oh yeah, you can stand in this. Do you think I can stand in it?
No.
Yeah, I can stand in this.
Oh, okay, well,
yeah, and still, okay, so that was however many minutes that was, what, 45 seconds, a minute maybe? Nothing coming from the doors. It's pretty dope.
Just open it halfway through and see what happens.
No, but see, I want to stand in the place where we're going to get stuck, which is not right there. All right, so if you're wondering about crawl ratio, once everything gets multiplied between the final drive and the axles and all that fancy stuff, you're looking at about 67, 68 to 1. And with the torque that's going through here, it means that you're pretty much going to be able to scramble up anything, right? Because remember, the crawl ratio is just how much the torque is multiplied by the time it reaches the wheels and all that fancy mathematical stuff. Now, if you could get this in a manual, you of course could have more torque because the manual has that crawler gear. Now, if you could get this in the manual, you of course could have a higher crawl ratio because that manual has a crawler gear. You can't get that in this, but this stuff that we've been doing, like your everyday like weekend warrior is probably not going to do anything more than this, and those people that will, they're going to want to build their own vehicle anyway. So being able to just get this right off the showroom floor and essentially go like swamp bogging is pretty remarkable. Now, if you want to go out and overland in this, let me tell you something. Your payload is only about 1,000 pounds. And in fact, Ford told me that payload was a big reason why they didn't want to offer the 2.7 liter in this, because they wanted to help keep the weight down so that you could have more payload. But you are going to be limited to right around 1,000 pounds. However, towing, you're right up at 3,500 pounds. It's not a lot, but that's enough for like a
side by side.
Yeah, like a side by side or a little two-person trailer camper thingy, you know?
Right.
Thingy, that's the technical term for
Airstream.
it. Yeah. What I like is that when you take the doors off, the mirrors are mounted to the A-pillar. So instead of to the door. So because when you take the doors off of a Jeep, and suddenly you don't realize how much you rely on those mirrors until you don't have them, and then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know.
That was.
Yeah, it's a very, very strange experience.
Yeah, where you put the little fake mirrors on the air vent.
I mean, well, and some people complain like, well, yeah, but then you also, if you're doing any kind of like really narrow trails.
I mean, yeah, these mirrors don't look the best.
No, but you can fold them in if you're on narrow trails. So I just like I like the idea that they're here all the time.
Right.
Safety third.
Amen. Let's get stuck.
We're not gonna get stuck. Oh, we're not gonna get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Oh, we're not gonna get stuck. Dude, we're 100% not gonna get shit. We got stuck. I clicked it, dude. I turned it on. No, I pressed the button. Oh, you know why?
You have to go for. Do you have to go low?
Dude, we're not in low. So now we're in 4 low. Everything is locked. It's not that much. The water isn't deep, but it's pretty sticky mud.
Yeah, but it's a rut that we're climbing over.
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
Oh. Fenders! It's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine. It's fine. How are you?
Good.
We're fine.
I see that you got a little.
Well, my foot is stuck in the mud.
A little mishap on the rear quarter there.
Well, let me tell you, this is some very, the water isn't deep, but the mud is certainly very deep and sticky, and the back end was smooping around a little bit. And you know what? You want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. So we got a little bit of this happening and a little bit of that happening down there. But, what, you want me to come out of this perfect? I mean, come on. Okay, so would you like to know how deep? You guys, I can't get... Oh, okay, there we go. So it's this deep, and then this is the berm. So, like, I can maybe get up here. So, like, look, see, yeah, no problem. Why didn't you just stay up here? Oh, it'd be so much easier. Just put a wheel here and a wheel here. You would have been fine.
Yeah, you're right. It would have been.
Yeah, shut up. You weren't here. All right.
So, yep.
So, I'm going to take this
plug it in for you.
winch cable. All right. So, that goes up to a place in the,
right
in the bumper?
Of the winch. It's right on top
of
the winch itself.
Right on top of the winch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrap that so it doesn't fall down. It's
Got it.
Slack for you.
Yeah,
so the
yeah.
bottom button on that is in and the top is out.
So
Okay.
in and out.
And out.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you...
So what we want to do here is we want to keep tension on this winch line. The only thing that's really stopping me is kind of like a tree branch that's under my passenger front. So the winch is really not going to need to work all that much, which is good. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a ton of winching experience, so it's cool to have this little controller gun though. That's nice. So the winch is 100-foot line. Like I said, it's the synthetic line, which is great because it's lighter weight and there's less kinetic energy in it. I prefer to have the synthetic line is great because it's lighter weight, there's less kinetic energy, so there's less chance of you getting hurt with it. So especially if you don't really know the physics of it, I would recommend a synthetic line because you're probably not going to kill yourself.
Okay. Okay, and then you can ease off the brake and see if the cable's holding the truck now.
It is.
Okay. So now, like I said, you just drag the brake a little bit as you winch in, okay? And just steer toward the tree.
This is very weird doing it where I am in control. Should I throttle a little bit? No.
No. Little brake, yep.
Oh.
You're good.
I mean, it's lifting this thing like it's nothing. Now I can see the winch line, and so I can see it, and now the winch line is gone, so I can't see if I've got tension on it. So now I have to rely on my spotter. Which he says
From
it's
here,
okay.
you can drive it out, so wherever you want to stop.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And
then,
now I'm clear.
Yep, and hold the brake and just winch out a bit. Okay.
Well, that was easy. That was easy.
Your rear tires are already muddy.
Yeah, I know. It's like completely like full of, the treads are totally full of mud. Oh man, all right. So when it comes to features of this Bronco Everglades, of course you've got your front and your rear lockers. You also have a trail turn assist, and what that does is it brakes your rear inside wheel when you're on at full lock to kind of give you a smaller turning radius. It's a nice feature when you're on a tight trail. We haven't really needed to use it. Also, it tends to kind of dig a little bit into the trail where you're using it, so you got to be judicious in where you decide.
Yeah, we've done it before in the snow in Colorado with the 2.7 first edition Bronco we had. Oh, let's not hit that tree.
I almost hit the mirror.
But that was in the snow, so it really didn't affect anything.
Yeah, but you can dig a hole pretty easily if you don't watch it. And plus, like, it's kind of fun being able to, you know, realize how long your wheelbase is, where you need to put your tires, so that you don't need to use any of those.
Yeah, and maybe take a fender off here and there.
You know, and I only did it once. And it wasn't the whole fender, it was part of it. But honestly, with all of the drive modes that you have, plus the front and the rear locker, the crawl ratio of about 68 to 1, and then the amount of torque that you have, like, this thing is going to be able to billy goat up a lot of things. Do I want a long travel? I mean, of course I do, but that's because I like the high-speed desert running stuff more than I like the rock crawling. So it all just depends on what your jam is, you know? If you don't really care about high-speed stuff and you want to go out and you want a mud bog and you want to climb up and over some rocks, I mean, this thing will do you just nicely.
Yeah, this thing's a unit.
Yeah.
And for only like 53, how this one's optioned?
Yeah, 53 plus almost $1,500 for transportation or for destination because it's coming from the moon.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's coming from the moon.
But that's really not bad.
No, I thought it was going to be more. I was surprised when I looked at it.
When Emmy asked me how much I thought it was, I said 62 right off the bat.
No,
and
53.
Like, no, 53. And you can go cheaper, right?
No, that's what it starts at. And I went on the build side and I looked around like, would I want anything else? And like, not really. All right, well, it is time to take these waders off and get on to the pavement, switch down into two-wheel drive. I know, it's quite a bummer, but I had a really good time overlanding this Bronco Everglades. Honestly, you guys, really surprising, able to get through mud, most of it, able to get through water easily. So if you are looking for something that you need to get through a lot of different places and you want to have a little bit of fun and you want to carry 1,000 pounds, it's this.
And we got nice and muddy and stuck and a broken piece of plastic. But other than that,
it was a really good day.
Yeah, she held together. I mean, this rear tire was completely filled with mud.
Yeah.
And the winch helped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, having the winch is great because you can self-rescue as long as there's a tree around or a rock or something. So.
Go off-roading by yourself, and that's very comforting.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to be able to be self-sufficient.
Well, thanks for joining.
Ding! See you guys later!